Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Graphic 45, I've got the Scenic Route, or Scenic Route, depending on how you say it. It's a fantastic collection for summer and for travel, and we have a giveaway card, you guys. Great little pop-up box that is so fun. It lays flat for mailing. This is our giveaway card, and I can't wait to show you how to put it together, so come play with us. All right, let's take a flip through this paper pack. You're getting 24 double-sided sheets, 8 decorative papers, 4 patterns, 4 solids, and 2 sheets per design. Okay, so you're starting off with some solids here, 2 of those, but look at the beautiful yellow with the leaves on it, so pretty. And then the solid orange, which is really nice to have, and the beautiful stripes. And then the solid blue, and then it's got these sort of little scallops on there. And then a darker solid blue with these beautiful tiles. And then you've got your postcards with a little border at the bottom. And then on the other side, what you would consider like card focals, or for your scrapbook, little focal ones. There's 2 here, 2 here, and then the rest are full size. And then that applies to the back here as well. You can cut this one into 2 pieces. That's a full size. Love this orange with the flowers and the lemon branch. Oh, so cute. And then on the other side, beautiful. And the tiles are fantastic. And then the stripe with the blue. And then on this side, you've just got this whole I guess it'd be like seaweed and leaves and the fish, and it's just very like ocean looking. This is so cute. Look at the tiny print, cream colored paper with this beautiful green vine and then the tiny blue flowers. Beautiful. And then on the other side, you've got these great cutouts with borders. And then this extra little tile. It looks like a tile, but they're just little groups of flowers that are kind of in a square shape. And then this is definitely the tile with the lemons. Gorgeous, very Italian. And then more lemons with the blue leaves and the lemons and a cream background. And then love this with the little buildings and then the flowers and then the little fish borders, so cute. And then you've got an orange dot with this fantastic citrus and then floral on a background, blue background. Once again, blue background with orange, oranges and green leaves, and then a cutout page as well. You get 2 of each of those. All right, so let's talk about the giveaway card and how it was made. I'm going to talk about how I put this together, and then at the end, stick around because I'm going to tell you about how we do our card giveaway here at paperwishes.com on our webisode page. So on the back, I put this area where you could like add your greeting and things like that. Now, as I said, this all flattens down so you can easily send this. This is our pop-up box card. They're already die cut. They're already ready to go. This is a great value. You're getting 5 cards and 5 envelopes, and then you're getting 2 small sheets of acetate, which is what these little things are attached to. So they look like they're floating, but that's a little sheet of acetate, okay? On the inside of this, it has full step-by-step instructions on how to put this together. I'll show you that sheet. There you go. Everything's right there. So let's talk about how you put it together. So they come, what I mean by die cut, they're already like this. This one's got some ink on it. So you'll notice that this has a score line all the way over here, and then this part right here does not have a score line here because that's the back part that sticks up. You don't want to fold that. All of the rest of these you do want to fold. So we're just going to fold it like this, and like this. Okay, and then you've got this little piece right here you want to fold. Okay. And then you're just going to fold them on these lines as well, just like that. And then I like to take a little bit of glue in this little applicator bottle. We have two kinds of glue that we love here at paperwishes.com. The Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, which is a clear drying craft glue, and then a Cosmic Shimmer, a specialist acrylic glue, also a clear drying craft glue, paper, other crafts as well. And you guys, they're both acrylic and they both dry with, like, they're flexible. They're not all like, they don't get like brittle, which is very nice. So absolutely you can just add a little glue right here. And then you're going to bring this side over and you're just going to attach it like this. Okay. And there you've got your box. All right, so now you've also got already die cut and ready to go. These little, I like to call them little crossbars, and they're already scored on each end. And you're just going to fold those scores, fold them at this score line, just like this. We're going to put a little bit more glue. Now you could also use tape, like double stick tape and stuff, if you want to use for these. I just prefer to use glue. This glue absorbs into the paper and it dries really quickly. Now we're going to put it in this way so that it's a nice spacer between the front of the box. You're going to just drop that in just like that, and you're going to let that attach, and then just going to press it in with your fingers here, just like that. And then you'll see it's even with the top edge of the box. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. And with this also, we're going to go with those little prongs, or whatever you want to call them, spacers. And then you're just attaching it like that. Oops, that. All right, so that's the inside of the box. And we're going to move over to now looking at the inside of this box. And you'll see some of the little die cut pieces, which I'm going to actually pause here and show you the die cut pieces because I realized I hadn't shown those to you yet. Some of them are glued to the box edges right here. Okay, and then some of them are glued to these little brace pieces right across. And then others of them seem to just sort of be floating on these little pieces of acetate. Well, also in your little kit, you get little squares of acetate. I just cut them down into like 3 or 4 separate pieces. They're about a 1/2 inch wide, and then you can cut these to whatever height that you want. So this one, you can just add it like this, and then you can just attach these little blossoms to them so they look like they're floating. It also gives you some height here, which is really, really nice. And then you can see here I've added these little border stickers to go all the way around, and they're bright yellow, really fun. And this is our fancy border dazzle stickers in the yellow color that goes so nicely with this. And then at the center of these flowers, I also added the little yellow jewel dazzle stickers like this. And they're just little circles, and they're nice to use with a little jewel picker. And you can just place them down like this, stir it a little bit to kind of break it from its backing. Ooh, that one disappeared. Where'd it go? It just went under the vinyl. That's crazy. I've never had that happen. And you just lift them off like that, and then you can place them, okay? Really, really simple. That's so funny. I've never had one disappear under the backing sheet. Oh. And then on the front of the box here, oh, I forgot to mention, before covering it with these little paper pieces, okay, and there is a pattern for that right here, okay, you cut these out, or you cut this out, trace them onto your papers, and then I inked the edges of the entire box with a little Prussian blue ink and my favorite applicator tool. And then once I had that done, then I glued these in place. You also are using that same pattern to glue them here. And then another one on the back. And then we just foam taped the little happy birthday right there. So cute. And then you guys on the back, I did not cut 2 of those pieces. I actually put this one and just sort of doubled the paper in height and then glued that there so that you had a nice place to write. And then just added these little corner pieces right there with the little yellow dazzle stickers on it. So fun to put together. So you guys stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do our giveaway. Let's now go over to all these little die cut pieces. All right, so you're getting 69 of these ephemera pieces. All right, so let's just go through these. I love the little borders with the fish and the seashells and the seaweed. And then of course, all the citrus is so fun. And then all of these flowers, I don't know what these flowers are, but I love them. If you can identify what that is, let me know in the comment. And then I do know that these are olives. And then all these little greetings. This like giant fish border, knife and fork. Okay, I love the little escape border. Here's another fish border. Here's another fish border. And then all of these little floral pieces. There's another lemons, little plates. I love the little plates. And then citrus. The citrus and the tile are great. And the sailboat. And then flowers and birds. Another greeting. Greeting. Love all these pieces. More citrus, more flowers, more olives. Larger sailboat. Another greeting. And then, here we go, best day ever. Cool little, occasionally you get these little pieces that haven't been evacuated yet. It's just from the machinery that they use to die cut these. And then all these plates with the crabs. Make me hungry, I haven't had breakfast yet. And then, here we go, lost and found. Flowers, and then all these little happy birthday, and then all these flowers and tiles. Super fun to play with. And I love the colors in this collection. All right, next, oh, I did want to mention too, if you have a die cutting machine, we have this pop-up card, pop-up box card cutting die. And it has the same little brace to go in the center. Of course, it doesn't have the acetate. But we do sell acetate by the sheet at paperwishes.com. And then it does have a little kind of a pointed scalloped edge there, which is really cool. So I'll put this down below the video in the supplies that we used at Paper Wishes. If you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you see a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. All right, you guys, on this one, I wonder if I cut this card down. I made this card last week and I do not remember. So, nope, this is 6.5 inches by 5 inches. And then I cut almost 2.5, 2 3/8 of an inch from the right side of the card. I covered the left side of the flap here with that beautiful orange paper, and then just a little strip that's like, 1.5 inch wide strip of that polka dot paper down the center. Foam taped the flowers, foam taped the lemons, added just a little group of 3 of those yellow Jewel Dazzle stickers. And then on this side, you guys, I just took a little strip of the orange stripe paper and covered that. You'll see how it just covers with the flap. And then we've got our yellow straight line dazzle stickers, which you've got a nice bold thick strip here, which I used here, of the yellow, and then a really tiny thin one of the yellow. And then foam taped this hello friend, glued this lemon, foam taped this with a little grouping of those dazzle stickers. Very easy to put together and very fresh and summery. I love that. All right, the next one. This one, you guys, is a 5 by 7, and I took that beautiful blue tile paper and covered my card. And then I cut down the paper that had, let me see if I can show it to you without digging too much. It had this great little scene and this little border around it. Here we go. I used this corner, okay, on the lower right here, and then across this added one of the fancy jewel border dazzle stickers here, right there, and then across the top. And then I took some of the tile paper and just 2 tiles wide, which is like 1.5 inches wide by 5 tiles long, and that's almost 4 inches long. And then glued that, inked the edges of all of these things with that same Prussian blue and applicator tool, just making sure you ink this layer before adding it to this one. And then I inked this layer as well, glued it right over the border, glued that little branch of olives, and then this greeting also has the branches. I foam taped that greeting there. That's all there is to that card, and I think it just has a really fun look to it. All right, my last one, something a little different, you guys. This was made from a just a plain 5 by 6.5 inch card. Started off with just a card just like this. Covered the card front actually using some of this blue sort of scale or scalloped paper. And then you guys, on this side, I took 2 different strips of paper. This is the yellow lemon, and then some border paper. And I just sort of filled out the edge. I glued this one and then I glued this one. Used another one of those straight line dazzle stickers as my border. Foam taped this one. Very simple. And when you open it up, on the inside, I used that scallop paper, cut it smaller so we have a little background. Another little strip of paper right here to make a pocket. It's actually just this big. I like kind of went up a little bit on the scallop. Little bit of this yellow paper right there, little fish die cut right there, and then inked the edges of these, and they're just great little places to like add some journaling. And then you guys, I just added some little tip out pages to this. I just took some of the paper and I added it to the right side. I'm going to show you how I did that. And then a little strip of paper here with one of these yellow dazzle straight lines right there. Took some of that little yellow paper and just right on the edge, and that made a nice little tuck spot right there. See how this little travel is to live, okay, or travel to live. To live is to travel. Wow. Glued that just on this side, so it's kind of overlapping. And then over here, these pages, you guys, I'm going to open this up, are just like this. And one of them is 4 3/4 of an inch wide, the yellow one, and then it's 6.5 inch tall. And then I just took it and I scored it at 1/2 inch, okay? And then this next one right here, that one is just a little bit wider, okay? And then I went ahead and trimmed a little bit off of this one. So this one is 4 3/4 of an inch wide, and the next one is 5 1/4 inch wide. And I scored them both at 1/2 inch. And then I glued one on top of the other so that you just had these little extra pages. So now it's suddenly like a small photo album or a little journal, something like that. This one is the yellow paper, and I just took a scrap from this paper, glued it down the center just so you have a place to write. These little things right here are just the tiles from the ephemera, and I just glued them to the edge after adding one of these little dazzle stickers so that you had just sort of like a little place to hold on there. This is only glued on the edge, so if you wanted to tuck a photo in there, you could just tuck it under there. Here's that fish border, we added that there. Then we've got our little plate with lemons, so I glued, and then foam taped this little flower. This one is just glued directly to the page. And then on the other side, this piece right here, I inked the edges of it, added place to journal, and it's also only glued at the top edge. So this one little simple card has some tuck spots right here, and then some pages to it that are so fun. And they made sure that you could still close this card really easily. So be aware of like where you're gluing your little die cut pieces. All right, you guys, so let's check out all of these cards, which I think are just fun and bright and perfect for summer. And then I did tell you that I would tell you about our card giveaway. So first of all, don't forget we have a fantastic money saver on the right-hand side of the screen. All of the other items are listed down below the videos, as well as full color photos of all of the cards if you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page. If you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link. Wow, it is really raining. It might even be hailing, you guys, on our metal roof. Let's see, what was I saying? YouTube description box, link to our Paper Wishes webisode page. Okay, so how we do our card giveaway is we're trying to promote our Paper Wishes YouTube channel, which is called My Paper Wishes. So if you want to hop on over there, you could just search My Paper Wishes. We ask that you subscribe to our channel, like this video with a thumbs up, and then leave us a comment. And then after about a week, we'll reply to one person's comment by saying, congratulations, YouTube username blank. So you do have to know your username, and if you've forgotten your username, just go back and reread your comment because it's labeled with your YouTube username. It's also a good idea to hit the notification bell in the top right-hand corner so that you know when we're dropping a new video or announcing our card winners. We do card giveaways every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here on Paper Wishes, so we hope you participate in those. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Sorry about the downpour, if you can hear that or not. And I'll see you in the next one.